Get rich or get ruined. The Ethan Miller story they don't want you to know. Ethan Miller was the kind of person who always believed that success should come quickly if you were smart enough and worked hard enough. Born and raised in the United States with Asian roots, Ethan carried both ambition and the pressure of expectation wherever he went. After earning his MBA in Singapore, he became fascinated with one simple yet powerful question: how to get rich as fast as possible. Like many young entrepreneurs, Ethan spent countless nights reading case studies, watching business documentaries, and following stories of self-made millionaires. But nothing captured his imagination more than the meteoric rise of a Singaporean investment firm called Liongate Capital. The company seemed to have cracked the secret formula to wealth. Every headline about them screamed speed, growth, and unbelievable returns. Ethan was hooked. He told himself that this was not just another opportunity, but the shortcut he had been waiting for. Friends admired his confidence, while others quietly worried about how far he might go in pursuit of this dream. And so the stage was set for his journey into the dazzling, unpredictable world of fast money. But a question lingered in the air, one that the audience cannot ignore. Is getting rich quickly truly worth the price you might have to pay? When Ethan finally joined Liongate, he felt as if he had stepped into a dream. The company branded itself as the Silicon Valley of Asia, a place where brilliant ideas and bold entrepreneurs could change their lives overnight. The glossy offices, the confident speeches from executives, and the glamorous lifestyle showcased on social media all painted a picture of unstoppable success. Liongate's promise was simple and incredibly tempting. Anyone could become a millionaire within 3 years. They spoke with certainty, as if wealth was guaranteed for those who followed their system. To Ethan, it felt like he had discovered a golden ticket. Every seminar he attended was filled with excitement, stories of people who supposedly transformed their lives, and just enough mystery to keep him chasing for more. Yet behind the polished image, the truth was far less inspiring. The so-called network of innovation was in fact a shadowy financial web built more on appearances than on real business. Still, Ethan pushed doubts aside, convinced that this was the breakthrough he had been waiting for. It was a thrilling ride, but also a dangerous game. The deeper Ethan went, the more he had to ask himself, was this opportunity real or just a beautifully packaged illusion? Once Ethan settled into life at Liongate, the cracks in the shiny facade began to appear. Behind the inspiring speeches and glossy presentations, employees were pressured to sell financial products that hardly seemed real. Numbers were massaged to hide debts, reports were polished to impress investors, and any doubts were brushed aside in the name of growth. At first, Ethan tried to convince himself that this was how big business worked. But the more he saw, the harder it became to ignore the signs of a Ponzi scheme. Capital was flowing in, but instead of funding innovation, it was fueling a cycle of endless payouts to keep the illusion alive. The temptations were everywhere. Management offered generous rewards to anyone who brought in new investors. Colleagues flaunted their sudden wealth, posting photos of luxury cars, designer watches, and brand-new homes. It was intoxicating to watch, like living inside a movie where everyone was getting rich overnight. Ethan found himself at a painful crossroads. If he stayed silent and played along, he could become rich beyond his imagination. But if he spoke up, he risked losing everything he had worked for. The question haunted him every day: what is the true cost of silence? The turning point came faster than anyone expected.
One morning, headlines across Singapore and the United States screamed the same shocking news. Lionsgate was under investigation. Authorities revealed that the so-called financial empire was nothing more than a sophisticated scam. Overnight, the glittering image of success collapsed into chaos. Thousands of investors from both America and Singapore discovered that their life savings had vanished. The dream of becoming millionaires was replaced by the harsh reality of financial ruin. Angry crowds gathered outside Lionsgate's headquarters, demanding justice. Social media exploded with accusations, stories of betrayal, and heartbreaking testimonies from families who had lost everything. For Ethan, it felt like the world had turned upside down. Instead of being seen as a victim of the system, he was suddenly labeled a collaborator. Former colleagues disappeared, executives denied responsibility, and the spotlight turned to people like him who recruited others into the scheme. Deep inside, he had only ever wanted to escape, to find a way out before it was too late. But now he was trapped in a storm he could not control. The glitter of easy wealth had transformed into the heavy shadow of scandal and guilt. In the aftermath of the scandal, Ethan's world unraveled piece by piece. The wealth he thought he was building vanished overnight. His reputation collapsed under the weight of suspicion, and even his own family turned their backs in disappointment. The people who once admired him for chasing bold dreams now saw him as a symbol of reckless ambition. For Ethan, it was more than just losing money. It was losing trust, respect, and a sense of belonging. It was during these quiet, lonely days that he finally understood the truth. The fastest way to get rich was also the fastest way to lose everything. The glitter of quick success had blinded him to the hidden cost, and now he had to face the consequences alone. Yet out of the ashes came a lesson worth remembering. Ambition itself is not the enemy. The desire to achieve, to grow, and to build wealth can be a powerful force. But when ambition demands the sacrifice of ethics and integrity, the outcome is inevitable. Sooner or later, the price will be paid. And this brings us to a question that still sparks debate. If you were in Ethan's shoes, what choice would you have made? Would you remain silent, take the money, and secure a future of luxury while carrying the burden of guilt? Or would you risk everything, expose the truth, and walk away with nothing but your conscience? Now the story is in your hands. Ethan's journey raises questions that are not easy to answer, and perhaps that is why it feels so real. Was he truly a victim, caught in a system larger than himself, or did he become a willing accomplice the moment he chose to stay silent? Some may see him as naive, others may call him greedy, but the truth lies in how each of us interprets his choices. And then comes the bigger question, the one that might make you pause. If you were offered the same chance Ethan had, would you take it? Would you chase quick wealth, knowing that the risks could destroy everything, or would you choose the safer path, even if it meant living with fewer rewards? These are not abstract ideas. They are real decisions people face every day in business, investment, and even in personal life. That is why your perspective matters. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you see Ethan as a victim, a villain, or perhaps a bit of both? Your opinion might challenge someone else's view and open the door to a deeper conversation. And if you know someone who dreams of getting rich overnight, send this story to them. Sometimes the best gift we can give a friend is not encouragement, but a reminder to think twice before chasing illusions. After all, wealth shared is wisdom that never disappears. I can't stop thinking about Ethan's story. On one hand, I admire his hunger to get rich, but on the other, I can't ignore the price he paid. It makes me wonder how many of us would actually resist the temptation if the promise of millions was right in front of us. Maybe deep down we all want that shortcut. But when the walls collapse, who do we blame? Ourselves or the system? I believe wealth means nothing without integrity. What about you? Would you take the risk or walk away?